You ever carry a gun that felt so right you actually laughed at yourself for ignoring it this long? That happened to me last month at a dusty little range in Arizona with a pistol I never even considered. I'll tell you about it soon, but first, if you've been here a while, you're probably thinking, another carry list? Haven't we seen every 9mm under the sun already? Yeah, I'd be bored too if this was just the same Glocks and Sigs in different hats. But this list, it's different. These are the pistols that slipped through the cracks, guns people ignored, dismissed, or didn't even realize were released. And some of these flat out blew my mind. Stick around for pick number 4. It's one that I've mocked for years, and now I carry it. And the last one, you've probably never heard of it. A weird Turkish compact I swore I'd never touch until it proved me wrong. Let's not waste time now. Gun number 13 is already heating up forums, and most folks still have no idea what it is. Let's skip the YouTube hype. You've already heard the cheap Glock clone take, but here's what nobody told me. Carrying a Dagger Micro for 3 months actually changed how I looked at budget pistols. First thing, the reloads feel different. It's snappy, but with stiff hands, it's not as forgiving as you think. That's not in the reviews. You won't hear that from a 25-year-old TikTok shooter. My local gunsmith says he sees more daggers with cosmetic flaws than Glocks with issues, but here's the twist. Almost none of them come back from mechanical failures. They just work. Still, want to know the real tell? Every guy I know who carries a dagger has a second gun in the safe, just in case. It's the second gun syndrome. You trust it, kinda. But there's one reason some folks never give it up. It fits old leather holsters like a dream. That weird 80s draw feel? It's back, baby. The dagger doesn't try to be a Glock. It's rougher, stranger, but for under $300, it forces you to ask, do you want perfect or do you want something you're not afraid to drop? Nobody brags about carrying a Taurus G2C. That's the quiet truth. But go to any small town range or gun club and ask the old timers what's in their glove box or backup holster. More than once, the answer's this gun. No flex, no hype, just something that works when it has to. Wanna know why? It's one of the only budget polymer pistols that still gives you a double take. That alone makes it a sleeper pick for anyone who spent years carrying a revolver. It's familiar, and that's rare. I know 3 guys in my range, over 60, who moved to the G2C from their snub 38s. One loves the mag capacity, one loves the grip feel, and the third gave his back, said it stovepiped too much. But here's the truth, the other 2 bought spares. One keeps it in the trunk, the other gave one to his son. This gun doesn't chase praise, it earns its place quietly. It's ugly, it's cheap, but if you dropped it in the snow tomorrow, you wouldn't cry. And the next pistol? It's the only one in this video with military DNA hidden behind a price tag no one expected. You used to see nothing but full-sized Rugers and old wheel guns at the local range. But these days, it's the old hands switching to the Max 9 and doing it without making a sound. That's the first clue. Because if a gun's showing up again and again on belt, but never in the used section, you're looking at a hidden gem. The early Max 9 had problems. Ask anyone over 50 and they'll tell you. Rough finishes, stiff triggers, weird malfunctions, but Ruger fixed it. And now, nobody's giving them back, nobody's talking trash, they're just carrying them. Red dot ready, shoots soft, comfortable for bad wrists, old fingers, stiff shoulders. One guy told me it's the first micro he shot that didn't leave his hands buzzing after 5 rounds. It's not perfect. The mag release takes some break-in and it doesn't love every holster, but every Ruger guy that I know says the same thing. They finally got it right. And if you thought Ruger's name wasn't cool enough for carry, you're already behind. The next one, it shocked the market by proving polymer doesn't have to be cheap, and it's the only one on this list that changed the Glock crowd's mind. Most folks shrugged it off when it launched. Foreign, plastic, looked like a Glock knockoff. Some still think it's overrated, but the guys who bought it kept it. At my range, you'll see the same Masadas show up. Same holsters, same owners, same scratches, because they're still running. Not pretty, not praised, but quietly trusted. No huge marketing wave, no gun tuber blow up, but now that US parts and sights are easier to get, even the old guys are warming up. You can finally grab a spring or a base plate without waiting 6 weeks. And for a sub $400 gun, that changes everything. It's not perfect, however. The mag release is a little mushy, and the finish wears faster than most, but as the guys carrying them, if it's still on my belt after 2 years of abuse, I'm not switching. It didn't win hearts, it earned grit, and that's exactly why it stayed. And number 9, let's just say it's one of the most returned guns at my local shop and one of the most rebought at the same time. Stay tuned. Ask any honest dealer what gun quietly stays out of the return pile and they'll point to the CZ P10C. It doesn't trend, it doesn't even get praise, but somehow it never comes back. Most guys walk in thinking it's just another budget Glock clone until they dry fire it, and then all of a sudden, it's riding in a carry holster, not sitting on the shelf. That trigger, better than half the striker guns people upgrade. Sure, the mag release used to be stiff, and yes, the early grip texture rubbed some shooters raw, but once broken in, this thing just stays. Carried hard, used weekly, rarely resold. That's the pattern. Even Glock fans quietly keep them. One guy told me it's the one pistol I shoot best, but I don't want to admit that out loud. And here's the truth. If you want one used, someone probably gave up too soon. Next up, a gun that should have been flawless, but instead caused more buyer's remorse than any pistol on this list. Don't miss out on it. Every company pushes the military-tested line, but this one actually made the cut. The surprise? Most guys buying it now aren't tactical types, they're done being burned by big brands that don't hold up. At my shop, the Echelon's become the #1 return buyer pistol. Guys are trading in Glocks and Sigs after a decade of loyalty, and instead of complaining, they're coming back for more mags. That's not hype, that's real replacement. It's not perfect, the slide's chunky, the serrations aren't for everyone, and you'll still hear some call it just another fad. But the beltline truth? Count holsters, not hot takes. This one's starting to show up in real daily carry and not just with fanboys. So, is it finally time Springfield earned back some respect? Or is this just another flash that fades by next year? If you've run one hard, sound off in the comments. Next up, the 9mm nobody wanted at launch, and now it's outlasting the experts and making a comeback nobody saw coming. You won't find it on top carry lists, you won't hear it hyped online, but the second a used USP hits my range, it's gone before the weekend. It's not cool, the controls feel odd, the mag release throws off half the Glock guys, but once someone cracks the code, they just carry it. No questions, no returns. They're just done researching. If you're looking for a pistol nobody brags about online, but the old guard still buys, this is it. My dealer says they sell instantly, even scratched up and over a decade old. No upgrades, no tuning, just a fresh spring kit and they're good to go. This isn't cult nostalgia or bomb-proof talk. The USP disappears faster than most new pistols, and the guys grabbing them aren't even collectors, they're the Beretta and Sig crowd who gave it one last shot and never looked back. So who's still trying a USP in 2025? Is it just a forum myth, or the hardcore guys staying quiet on purpose? Drop a comment if you've run one. This might be the only pistol nobody expected to last this long and somehow did. Next, a pistol that got mocked at launch, then quietly took over police holsters across half the country. Nobody's chasing the SEAL legacy anymore, but the P226 still turns up in the hands of guys who've outgrown plastic pistols and know exactly what they want. It's heavy, it's all metal, and for older wrists or DASA shooters, it's smoother than anything near its price. You'll see it in club matches riding in leather, not because it's flashy, but because the recoil's tame, the trigger's predictable, and the muscle memory just sticks. These aren't nostalgia shooters, they're Beretta and CZ guys who gave it one final go and then kept them for good. What makes it different? You don't see them flipped, you don't see them traded. The guys who keep P226s usually don't let go unless it's going to family. They just quietly keep running it years past what anyone expected. So here's the question. If you've ever sold one and actually regretted it, why? Or if you're still carrying a well-worn one today, what's the real reason you've stuck with it? Next up, the 9mm that got laughed at in forums until comps started wearing it like a badge. Nobody sets out to buy a CCX. Half the guys who own one flat out hated it at first. So why does it keep showing up in 2025 regardless? It's the one Micro 9 nobody recommends to their friends, but the same guys quietly keep rebuying it. Not because it's the best, don't get me wrong, but because when it does work for them, nothing else quite does. One guy at my range carries his with grip tape, a cracked backplate, and claims the broken safety actually made it better. Not so good, not so smooth, but some shooters swear it just sticks. Call it muscle memory or stubborn loyalty, the kind of gun you swear off, then end up missing when your fancier backup jams during drills. So here's the challenge. When you traded your CSX, did you regret it? Or are you one of the few still running one with weird mods and all? Drop it in the comments. The best story might just pin the next segment. Next, a polymer 9mm that was called too cheap to trust until it beat a $1,000 carry gun at the range. This was supposed to be Glock's biggest flop. Full-size grip, compact slide, neither here nor there. It wasn't tactical, it wasn't even modular, just tan and weird. And yet, it won't die. Even now, it's outselling newer models that promise the world. Glock purists scoffed when it dropped. Glock Frankenstein they called it, but the people who actually carry one, they're not trading it for anything. There's no flashy launch video, no trigger upgrade hype, just a reputation that quietly hardened over time. You can call it ugly if you want, but you can't call it soft. It's the kind of pistol that doesn't start off as your favorite, it just refuses to leave your rotation. Was it overbuilt? Overhyped? Doesn't matter now, because everyone who dumped one in 2022 wants it back in 2025. Up next, a 9mm that had no right costing this much and somehow still earned its fan base the hard way. This $350 pistol, it ran through 5 IDPA matches, survived 4 owners, and still cycled clean after 7,000 plus rounds. One guy tossed it in a muddy bay mid-course, picked it up, still kept shooting. Another blew the extractor clean off out of class, borrowed one from another Canik, popped it in, finished the weekend. That's not hype. That's range verified, no YouTube filter reliability. It didn't win any awards, and it didn't need to. The Elite SC wasn't designed to impress your gun club, it was built to outlive the flashy stuff, and somehow it did. Some guys who once mocked Turkish guns quietly keep one in the safe, not out of pride, but out of practicality. Just ask around. It's the only striker-fired budget pistol that got run like a Glock and didn't flinch, not once. No aftermarket fix, no hand-wringing forearms, no trigger jobs required, just function. Even when the slide finally cracked on an abused rental, it cost less than $50 to replace, less than a dinner out. So no, the Canik isn't legendary, but it's the only $350 pistol serious shooters still run like a $2,000 custom and don't regret owning. You won't see it headlining reviews, but every year, the same story. The Canik outlasts the hype guns, outshoots its price tag, and quietly becomes the hidden gem you actually end up keeping. If you think you know the best carry pistols in 2025, think again. The effing Reflex is still flying under the radar and outperforming names twice its price. Nobody's hyping it, no influencers flashing it on thumbnails, but step onto any serious range and you'll see what's changing. The guys who used to carry Hellcats or P365s are now drawing Reflexes and not switching back. Why? That trigger, short, crisp, and shockingly shootable for a gun this size. And the shape matters too. It sits low, draws clean, and stays planted through drills. It's not just comfortable, it makes fast shooting feel easier. So why is it still a sleeper? Effen's branding still leans military, not micro. And unless you've shot one, the spec sheet won't impress you. But owners, they're not flipping it, they're doubling down. Your friends might still overlook this one, but in 2025, that's their mistake, not yours. Anyone daily carrying the Reflex right now? Drop your reason below. Curious what sold you on it. Next, the only $300 pistol on this list that flat out embarrassed a $1,000 one on the line, and the match footage proves it. Over 70,000 rounds, same pistol, same rotating barrel. No slide swap, no dramatic rebuild, just normal cleaning and continued use. It didn't trend, didn't go viral, but it never left the hands of the guys who actually run their gear. Most shooters don't even know what it feels like to rack a rotary system, but ask anyone who's owned one for over a decade, especially those in cold weather departments or high volume training roles, and they'll quietly admit it just keeps running. Not because it's flashy, but because it's built like a tank and doesn't care who notices. Nobody's flipping these on forums for clout or chasing the latest trend. They just run them. The PX4 Storm wasn't designed to win YouTube, it was designed to stay in the fight when other guns started binding up, getting loose, or aging out. And in 2025, it's still outlasting polymer rivals with half the weight and twice the hype. You don't see it in top 10 lists because it's old, you don't hear about it because nobody's selling theirs, but stick around, there's a bonus pistol coming that proves legends aren't always the loudest. In a 2024 endurance trial with over 30 rental guns, only 2 pistols made it past 8,000 rounds without a single malfunction. One was a Glock, the other, the Arex Delta Gen 2 Compact. You don't hear much about it because almost nobody talks about it. But ask the few who've run one hard and they'll tell you. It's one of the smoothest, flattest 9mm striker pistols out there today. Light, fast reset trigger, razor thin grip, factory optics cut. It didn't trickle in with fanfare, it just started outperforming names that cost $200 more. No nostalgia, no fanboys, no nostalgia, no fanboys, no inflated hype. Just brutal efficiency. Just brutal efficiency. The frame flexes where it should, locks up where it matters, and somehow it still sells under $400. That shouldn't be possible in 2025. So why isn't it everywhere? Because nobody's pushing it. No big influencer campaign, no dealer hype. Just shooters quietly stacking rounds and not switching back. And that's what makes it a sleeper. It's not just underrated, it's criminally overlooked. Keep watching, there's one last bonus coming that might explain why the old legends still refuse to die. Look, if you're the kind of guy who skips bonus picks, please don't. This isn't hype. This is the pistol serious shooters trust and most casuals still overlook. One federal range instructor documented over 60,000 rounds through his Staccato P. Not one failure. That story never hits influencer clips, but it's passed around like gospel in the communities that matter. You probably won't see this on trending lists or end caps. It's not shiny, not cheap, and doesn't sell itself. But go ask match shooters, SWAT officers, or instructors who actually run their gear. This gun doesn't quit, and they don't switch. There's no gimmick, no cool factor, just straight line reliability that doesn't flex or fade after thousands of rounds. Zero drama, just performance. And that's exactly why most people miss it. You don't hear about the Staccato P because the people who rely on it don't need to talk. If you still think it's just hype, go shoot one hard. Just don't be shocked if it outlasts everything else you own. Honestly, I almost didn't make this one. I thought maybe people are tired of lists, but these weren't just any guns. These were the ones I nearly passed on. And if you're still here, you're the reason I kept going. So now it's your turn. Tell me what I missed. Drop your hidden gem in the comments or call me out if you think I overhyped anything. If you want a fan-only episode where I feature your picks, say so down below. And listen, I'm thinking about doing a list of guns I regret recommending, but I won't post it unless you ask for it. So if you want that honest breakdown, you know what to do. At the end of the day, I'm here to make sure you don't waste money like I did, and that's why this channel exists. Thanks for sticking around, especially if you're one of the real ones.